But what you do need is a place to store your episodes. And that's what we're going to talk about here on next, is that actually you need a place to upload your episodes after you get done recording them, doing whatever kind of editing. Or if you say, no, screw it, I'm not going to do any editing. It's going to be raw and unfiltered. Just put it out there as is. And that's perfectly fine. There's a lot of podcasts that are in the same position as you or like that type of style content. But there are plenty of places to host your podcast episodes. And there's some great ones. There's some not so great ones that don't offer you a lot. But the one I use is a podcast hosting called Captivate. Now, they're offering a lot of stuff that you could look into for very minimal cost. I believe it's $20 a month, and you can upload as many things as you want. So let's take it monthly. Yeah, it's $20 a month. You get up to 30,000 downloads a month, unlimited podcasts, which I looked at a couple different companies. Only a few companies or podcast hosters actually have this capability or offer this capability. Is you can have one account for multiple shows. There's some companies out there that don't allow you to do that. They don't have the capability for that. Is that if you want a podcast A, and you also have to have another account for podcast B, which at the time that can be very expensive. Let's say it's $20 per account. So you're already at $40 for two shows. And if you're doing another show, that's $60 because you need an account for yet another episode or another show. So Captivate allows you to have unlimited shows. You can have 3, 4, 20 different podcast shows on one account for $20 a month. And it's unlimited uploads and storage. And you can have a distribution list out the wazoo. Now, yes, you're limited to the number of downloads per month, but the 30,000 downloads, that is high for a show that's just getting started or is for a very highly niche show that is really don't have the reach of, let's say, H3 and or Behind the Bastards or any kind of these big name productions and podcasts that you've probably listened to yourself. They're probably looking in the range of thousands, I'm not saying but millions of downloads per month. And that's great. If your show is getting millions of downloads per month, that is pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, pat yourself on the back there because that's a huge milestone. But for a show that is just starting out or you're just getting into doing podcasts, a personal plan is more than enough. With 30,000 downloads a month, that is a huge number. You're looking at probably anywhere from 10 to maybe 300 downloads per month, depending on the popularity of your show. So to think of that, you might be going over 30,000 is okay. Down the line, yes, you might want to start looking into the professional side, which is only $50 a month. But at that time, it's 150,000 downloads. And you're probably also getting a residual income from your audience, help supporting the show. So there is being an offset of the cost that you normally would have to go into. So it's a win-win, yay. But let me show you exactly what Captivate offers. And it's a lot of stuff that they offer, not just, what you see here, but you get a podcast webpage that sets up a listing for all your episodes, show notes when you put them in. And the nice thing with Captivate is that they also have a guest booking feature that makes things a lot easier. So if you're a podcast that likes to do bring guests in, you can set that up where your guests can come in and schedule a time for conducting the interview. And you can also set up pre-show notes, getting things all together for that particular episode that will transfer from like the draft, getting things together to the actual show notes for the episode when it goes live. And Analytics is a great thing as well. That a lot of other companies offer analytics, so that's a nice thing. Podcast promotion, you get Captivate sites with your website for your podcast. Um, get private podcasting. You can also set up uh, donations or tips that come in through your podcast page. So it all kind of sets everything up into one location that you don't have to go you don't have to advertise a Patreon or a Ko-fi or any other site. You can have it all just within Captivate. Now, there is another side of thing. If you are of the open source and you want more control over like your privacy and stuff like that, let me show you this podcast it's a self-hosting is called Castopod. Now, this is a free open source solution if you don't want to go through and you have the hardware or you want to do it everything yourself. The problem is that you are going to have to take care of everything yourself. The server infrastructure costs, the maintenance of that, and also you have to worry about the amount of downloads, your storage, and things that you normally wouldn't have to think about if you had it on a hosted plan with another company like Captivate. Now, this is, like I said, if you're part of the open source community and you want to have that whole control, which is awesome. I wish a lot of people would go that route. Now, this offers pretty much the same stuff that you saw on Captivate, just that it's self-hosted, that you control, and it's everything that you can think of. That you can promote your podcast. You also get a way to send out your RSS feed to the different podcast players, like again, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Pocket Cast and the like. You also get analytics. You can also publish your podcast for free, or you can monetize it through premium subscriptions, micropayments, tips, or automatically embed listen to click ads using the cookie list solution, for example. They have there. So this is another option that is available to pretty much anyone that has the capability, the know-how, and let's say the gumption. I couldn't think of a better word, but the gumption, to do that. So if you have, let's say, spin up a server on Hetzner, and then you can install this on your server and start posting or uploading your episodes to your Castopod instance on your own server, you have full and utter control throughout, the entire thing.